Hey, it's Juliana. So remember in my original how-to video, I showed you how to use the Jewel Loom and I showed you how to create an affinity band, which was basically a base of size 8 seed beads, and it created a really cool band. Now what I want to do is I want to show you how to make that cool dimension that you know I love, and I know so many of you out there have been asking me, Jules, how do I make those loops? So I'm going to show you, and it's really easy. So in the first video, I showed you how to create an affinity band, and basically that's just using your size 8 beads or size 6, whatever bead you want, to create a band. Now what's really fun is to add dimension. You know, I love big hair, so I have to have big bracelets and big jewelry. And in order to do that, I anchored my thread into the base of my band. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and I'm coming up and in between that first and second bead. And I am working with my Beadalon Wildfire, which once again, I just love, love, love. And I am working with size 11 seed beads. And I'm going to pick up 6 of those. Let's see, how many do we have? 5. And there's my 6th one. And then I'm going to pick up what I would call a decorative bead. And in this case, it is a little turquoise chip. And then I'm going to pick up 6 more seed beads. And I'm using the black and the silver, and I don't really have any rhyme or reason, I'm just picking them up. And then I'm going to thread them down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that needle and thread, and I'm going to go back through the first bead, and then up and out in between the 3rd and the 4th bead. Now you can follow a certain pattern if you like, or you can just randomly add loops. What's really fun is to add a loop on every bead. That really gives you a very big and full look. So once again, we're just going to pick up some seed beads, 6 of these little guys. If you wanted it to be really wild, you could pick up 8 seed beads. That would give you some really big Juliana hair. Whoops, let's see, which one do I want? Ooh, let's get this crystal. Okay, and so 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 more seed beads. String those down, and then what I'm going to do in this case is I'm taking the needle and I'm going back through the 3rd bead and all the way out the 4th. And there I have 2 loops. Now what I'm going to do to continue on is I literally turn the loom around, and I'm always working from the right side. So once again, I'm going to come up in between the 1st and the 2nd bead, and always want to make sure that everything is nice and taut so that, you know, there's no space in those loops. And then again, we're just going to pick up 6 beads, little seed beads, size 11. You could certainly use different size beads. Little 15s would be really cute. The hardest part is figuring out which decorative bead to pick up because there are just so many really cool beads. And one more time, let's see, 3, let's get a silver guy in there, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to go back through the 1st bead, and then once again up in between the 3rd and the 4th, and I have started my 2nd row of looping. And what I would do is I would, for this particular project anyway, I'm just creating this really fun, funky, wild, loopy centerpiece for a bracelet. And if you take a look at this bracelet right here, you can see exactly what I've done with a different color palette. And they're just so much fun. I really, really enjoy adding the loops. And it's just that simple.